Hello, everybody. I'm Kerry,
And I'm Daphne.
and welcome back to episode, was it four
Four,
of
yeah.
Ask Kerry? Awesome. All right. So, what do we have today, honey? Oh, wait a minute. We have a new microphone. Whatever.
Honestly.
It's sitting right there. Okay, come on.
So this question comes from the UK, and I like this one because it made me wonder. I'm actually looking forward to hearing what you reply.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, this one says, "Dear Carrie, hello. My name is Agatha. I'm writing to you from the UK, just down from Hickstead.
Hickstead, yes. Yep.
I've been absolutely cuffed to bits with your work on the equine psychology.
Cuffed or chuffed? Let me see it.
Oh, you're right.
I
It's
think it's
chuffed.
chuffed. Yeah,
Chuffed
that's
to
an English
bits.
term for, yeah.
Sorry. It's been a proper eye opener for me over the past year. My question revolves around herd dynamics and stress. Since I've started wrapping my head around herd structure, thanks to your insights, I've begun to wonder if some of the behavioral issues I've encountered over the years might be down to sleep deprivation.
Sleep. Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
In animals?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that it?
No,
Okay.
and she goes on, sleep deprivation at various shows and events where the horses are constantly adapting to new environments. Is sleep deprivation some
Deprivation. She needs more coffee.
tongue tied?
Wait till you hear the answer.
Maybe I'm sleep deprived. Um, uh, okay, where was I? Is sleep deprivation something that occurs? And if so, do you think it's connected to the natural herd structure? Thank you in advance. Have a splendid trip to Europe. Although I'm jealous, we need you to stop over here for some clinics.
Well, first of all, thank you, Agatha, for writing in, and
I'm sorry, I really chopped that up. Oh my goodness.
it's okay. Um, and well, we'd love to come over and do an event there, some lectures and clinics, especially up in that area.
Yeah, I'd love
That would
it.
be awesome. And thank you for the well wishes. We're heading to the Netherlands the 11th of September. We'll be there till the 25th for some events, so that's going to be really fun. So, getting back to your question, it's a very good question because sleep deprivation really is a thing, and it's more from a herd structure standpoint. If the herd is out of balance from emotionally, we always think about horses, a herd of horses being the number of horses in that herd, but that's not really what it's about. It's about the emotional connection between those horses. Horses seek harmony with their environment and contentment with their peers. That is the perfect bliss for a horse. That is what they seek. That's what they want. That is the ultimate desire. And oftentimes, when we put horses together, they do not. The jigsaw puzzle pieces don't always fit so cohesively. So just imagine yourself being thrown into a room of peers that you get along with some, but you don't get along with others, and you're not really sure where you fit in. And there's always that angst, a little bit of stress that carries with you. So yes, you may find some time to relax, but you always kind of have that nagging in the back of your head, like what's coming next, that kind of thing. So they don't get as good a rest, and that causes stress and anxiety. And it is very, very profound. It can affect all kinds of different come out in all kinds of different behavior patterns. It certainly can affect performance. I've seen it a lot, in thoroughbred racing. Shipping horses in, the timing of when you ship in a horse to an event, whether it's whether you're a 5-star eventer and you're shipping into a place where you're heading to the Kentucky Derby and you're shipping in, knowing your horse and knowing how much time they need to assimilate to an environment and how they fit has a lot to do with it. And herd structure, it all starts with herd structure. And that's something you've never thought about before. I guess I've never really talked about it with you before.
You have not, and my wheels are spinning. Like, okay, this very interesting
Well,
indeed.
and I get asked a lot of times about how can you mitigate that? How can you help a horse through that? Sometimes the best thing you can do for your horse is when you do absolutely nothing. Think about this.
Let the horse be a horse for a while.
Let the horse be a horse. But it's kind of like if you have a friend and you do certain things with her, you have this certain friend, and anytime they call you, something's wrong, or they need your help with something, or there's something up. So when you see that come up on your text, or you see that name come up, you're like, oh, I love you to death, but dang on, now what's going on? It's like you have that predisposition of like, some kind of angst. You feel that little bit of stress. Well, sometimes your horse can love you to pieces, but every time they see you, you're going to be doing something. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your horse is when you're doing nothing at all. It's okay to spend time with your horse and help them relax by doing nothing. You don't always have to even groom them. You can just be with them. That helps them offset some of these stresses. And those are certain things that you can do to help. Like going to a show, sometimes you need to get your horse there a little early. Sometimes you get your horse there just in the nick of time, depending on your horse. But knowing how they outsource to you and the time that they need to relax is really, really important. But herd structure has a lot to do with it. And no matter what we try to do, if we don't have our horses in the right environment and we take them to an event, there's going to be residual stress, along for the ride because they are not getting the proper rest. And the horses will not rest properly, or any animals for that matter, but especially horses being herd animals will not rest properly if they don't fit into the herd structure properly. Because it's like, well, I kind of trust you, but maybe I don't really trust you, so I'm going to sleep with one eye open. And then the adaptability
I
part.
do that every evening with Kerry, so
Well, hey, what can I say? But it's one of those things where it's a trust factor, it's a comfort factor, that harmony and contentment. If they don't have that, they will have residual stress. So some pointers to help offset that is sometimes just be with your horse and do nothing, and sometimes that can really help them ease that.
So you've stressed that quite a few times throughout this conversation by doing nothing for a while for them, just to let them recoup and
Yes, every time it's like every time that they see you, they don't need you don't need to do something. Like it's every time I see a certain person, it's like we're going to have to do this again, or it doesn't always have to be that way. Sometimes you can just come to visit just to visit and have nothing, no agenda, nothing that we're going to do today. Mix it up. If you mix it up, you can help your horse relax and help them get proper rest. And they may not sleep properly. We don't have any real control over that. But what we can do is we can help them absorb some of those stresses by not adding any stress to that. So be mindful of that. If your horse is good at home but ships okay, but gets there and has some angst and a lot of stress built up, and seems to be more comfortable at home, sometimes it can be a residual effect of that stress leading into an event that they're not resting properly, and therefore they're always on edge. So,
so we almost need to think of it just like how we travel and how we are. We need that rest too.
mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to travel over to the Netherlands, and I know I'm going to need a day or two before I just dive into
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot. So
yeah,
that's really, really interesting.
yeah. There's
So,
there's a lot to it, and one thing you'll find that before we close this out,
okay.
this is really important too, is like where a horse is on the herd structure, where are they on their herd hierarchy, will affect the time that they need and the type of rest that they need and type of help that they need. Horses that are who assimilate better to different environments, who can be more independent from the herd construct, can get better rest and assimilate better to different environments. Horses that are mid-level to lower level horses that have more dependencies are outsourcing a lot more through the herd construct for their harmony and contentment. And when that is disrupted, everything filters out.
Well, that's all.
So that was a lot, but there's a lot there, and we can continue to talk about that, and we will going forward. I'm sure in different parts.
All right. Well, Agatha, I hope that has answered your question and given you some food for thought. Sorry I chopped it all up in the beginning, but Kerry explained it very well.
So
If any of you out there have a question that you would like to ask Kerry, please email me at daphne@sensorysoundness.com, and I will see what I can do to get that on air and ask Kerry. Also, you can leave it in the comments below. We are on YouTube and, probably putting this on some other social media. So feel free to ask a question in the comments.
Yeah, and we appreciate we have new subscribers to the YouTube channel. We really appreciate that, and keep it coming, and we'll keep answering your questions. And I will say that the next one that we have, episode 5, we will be filming in the Netherlands or Germany, and at one of the events. I'm sure we'll do a Ask Kerry right there on site. So that'd be fun.
So until then,
Be the bridge
and not the block.
Thank you.
Thank you.